Hello and welcome to another edition of H. Paul Models. Enough aircraft, I'm going to do a Jeep. So I figured I don't like the colourings and whatnot. Probably going to do something SAS style because I've got some 8th Army figures that I've had for ages. So yes, let's do a desert scene Jeep. As always, destructions are up and I like this. This is very nice. Sprues are up. And I've got a new cutting mat. Woohoo! Let's crack on. Right, I'm just finishing off the bonnet for the Jeep and I put these 2 rolls of canvas on there and I want to strap them down. So what I've done is these tie together things, you get them everywhere, they're a pain. What I've done is I've stripped them and now I'm going to drill 4 little holes in the bonnet, put them through, twist them together and super glue them, and hopefully it'll pull the canvas down, well, the paper down, and make it look like it's strapped on. Now I know they're metal and everything else, but I mean, it's just an effect. I'll see if I can, because that drill might be too small. It looks like it's going to be alright actually. So I'm going to drill a hole there, a hole there, a hole there, and a hole there. Sorry, you didn't see that. One there, one there, one there, and one there. I'll paint the wire black, pull it through, hopefully without cracking the paint, and then tie it off. Let's give it a go. Right, done one side, got the wire through, now for the other one. So what I did is if eventually I picked up the wire, is there's a hole there, so I just threaded my wire through. There we go, we're through. Right, and then pulled it through. Got my tweezers, bent it over, and then it's just to give an impression that they're strapped down to the bonnet of the Land Rover, Willis Jeep even. Just to, that's it. There we go. Come on, through you go. Oh dear, so the first one was a breeze. There we go, it's through. Right, let's just feed a bit more through. Just so it doesn't go. That's it. Oh my good God. Come on. Oh, it wasn't this difficult on rehearsal. Looked like fun in the catalogue. Right, let's push that and then let's see if we can't. There we go. Come on. Oh, gotcha. Right, I'm just going to try and pull that a bit more. Oh, crikey. There we go. See, it's pulling on the edges of the paper, so it looks like it's strapped down. That's what I wanted it to do. And then I'll just twist it to secure it. Like that. Trim the ends. And then bend them down flat. There we go. I don't quite know what that is. Let's have that. Alright. That might be the super glue. Yeah, that's what I can read. I can touch that up. It's a bit upsetting, but never mind. Touch it up. So there we go. The team's tent strapped to the hood of the Jeep. Happy with that. There we go. That's the effect I was trying to get. I didn't paint the wires black at the end because it's just I haven't got the brush or the gear to do that. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that effect. I think that looks alright. I'll get it on the Jeep next. This is the bit I always hate with trucks. The dreaded steering wheel. I never get this bit right. Just don't like doing these. Let's see if we can get it in here. Come on. In you go. Oh. It is in. Crikey, that wheel's a bit far out, isn't it? I've never seen anything like it. Oh, cripes. I mean, from the dashboard, that is. That's ridiculous. I'm cutting a bit of that off. That is stupid. Let's just add that off there. Reapply some glue and I'll stick it back in. That just looked like it was... Ugh. It'd make the Jeep undrivable, wouldn't it? Surely. Get in now. think I've missed the hole completely. Yes, I have. There we go. Oh, much better. Still doesn't look right though. Oh, I hate steering wheels. I can never get them right. I know they say practice makes perfect, but I'd rather not practice. That'll have to do. Oh, that's it. I just edge that down a bit like that. Something I liked but didn't like from the kit was a shovel and the weird tool next to it. So I've sculpted a shovel into its own tool, drilled out the handle so you'll be able to see the paint colour of the Jeep through it, and now I'm just going to stick it on. I just think it looks better. Looks like that. I think it looks better than the tool that they provided with the kit. As the Jeep dries, I'm thinking of SAS types, 8th Army type people. So this one, I think I may adjust that arm, get rid of the grenade and put him somewhere near the Jeep, like getting into it. Him, I want him around the back of the Jeep. That's these three shooting at Germans, because this guy has done something very naughty to a Luftwaffe air base. So yeah, I'm just imagining a scenario where I can put the Jeep into. So yeah, I should start getting painting and reorganising these figures, and we'll see where we go. Right, first of all, I'm going to start with my potential driver. So I'm thinking about removing his arm and turning it around. So grenade off first. Very carefully cut that out of his hand. Ooh. He's holding his fingers. That's it. Oh, still not there. A little bit of a trim, just to tidy it up. There we go. Now I've got to try and cut this arm off and then turn it round. I think I'm going to cut the arm off, drill a hole, use a bit of this wire, you know, the tarmac wire, to strengthen the joint, super glue them back together, and then paint him. So let's do a bit of surgery. Not going to be an easy cut, this one. I can put him, I don't want the blade going across his helmet, that's what I'm trying to avoid. There, I think. Looks good. Just cut his arm off. Oh. I don't like my fingers being this close to a scalpel blade. It's going through. There we go. Right, so I'll trim that up. That's it. The same with his arms. I'll prepare the drill and then we'll do the holes in the pin. Right, let's reattach his arm. So try and get that in the middle of his torso, and then just, no, I'm going to have to scalpel that first. I don't like this. But I need a punch hole to drill through very carefully. That's it. That's sufficient hole to start me off. Drill bit in there and see if I can't just drill a little tiny hole. I think that's deep enough. Yep, I'll do his arm. Now before I drill, I want to see how his arm's going to go, because he was throwing a grenade, wasn't he? So I'm going to put his arm something like that, so it can be resting against the windscreen of the Jeep. Oh, I can't even see that. I'll get a pair of tweezers. There we go. Oh, cripes. So something like that. So yeah, it needs to be in the middle of his arm. Then I can just fill and trim and hope for the best with that one. So get our scalpel, middle of the arm again. Just do a little punch hole. Hopefully not in my fingers. I think that's fine. Get a piece of wire. Yeah, that fits in there good. It's quite deep as well, so I'm going to super glue that first. Right, so I'm going to get a little tiny dab of this. Oh crikey, that's probably too much. I want that clean. Put that in there. Oh dear, I'll stick myself to the tube, that's it. Just put the wire in and just hold it in place. Hopefully the glue will go off quick. And let that set. Well, let's try and reattach the limb. The glue's still tacky, so I'm going to do my best to put that in there and push it home if it will go in like that. There we go. Hopefully that will give him the strength he needs. I can get his arm right. 1, 2 there. A little bit lower because he won't have a base. Like that, I think. And I'm going to let him go off now. Let the glue cure. A little bit of filler around his arm just to make it look a bit more like an arm. And then we'll paint him. Yeah, chuffed with that. As the soldiers dry for the diorama along with the Jeep, I thought I'd add a Bedford Truck to the whole scenario. But the cab roof has a hatchway, so I've ground that out with my little Dremel type tool thing, and I've got a slip of aluminium from one of those ready meal baking things. So I'm going to try and make a hatch that I can then lift up, put one of the Lewis guns on the kit from, and just leave it like that. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to press down on this and it will give me a template to cut out. Oh, look at that, that's not too bad. Now it's just whether I can cut that out. This is going to be the problem. Whether I have the necessary skills to cut around this without making a right pig's ear of it. Let's just see what I can do. Now I'm going to cut like that, and I'm going to do this way around. Ooh, crikey, you could never put me in bomb disposal, could you? If I just try and trim that round. Oh, that's right, I missed it. That's good, that's good. So far, so good. Just cut that off there like that. Well, I want that tab there so I can glue it. I'm going to trim that bit up because that looks a bit too big now. Just take that off of there like that, and then up there like that. There we go. Put it back on there. I can just... I'm going to get myself a cocktail stick and see if I can't just form those edges in. Because I do believe the lid would have gone on the outside of the hatch, not the... Oh, broke me cocktail stick. Oh no! Right, and just massage that in as best I can. And keep pushing them sides in. using my curly tweezers. I didn't want to use tweezers, but I think they might be better than a cocktail stick for this bit. Just, I can't just push that in there like that. And what I'm going to try and do now is to shape that front with my scalpel. If I can't cut those few bits of tin foil off. Come on. Come on, off you come. Off you come. I think that's as best I'm going to get it without damaging the foil or the model too much. What I'm going to do now, oh bugger, is not swear too much. Put that back on there. And then, oh, what I want to do is put my tweezers like that. There, and then using another pair, I can't bend that up to make a hatchway like that. Yes, I like it. There we go. One, I know it's not perfect, but one little cab hatch, which I'm quite, yeah, I'm alright with that. It's not brilliant, but it'll certainly do. Right, so a little bit of super glue. On there. Drop the hatch. Oh, come on. Oh, you little... I'm so frightened of damaging it. I'm not gripping it properly. Come on. Like that. And then putting that on there. Just holding that into place. Alright, come on, glue. Go off, because I can't be waiting here all day. Just push that down a bit. Make sure that's in there good. I'm not quite sure which way these hatches open thinking about it. Oh, probably that way I'll expect, but anyway, it's too late now. It's nearly glued on, he says. Come on. There we go. Let that go off. And I think that's quite passable as a lorry hatch. Then I'll get to painting it all. So after a bit of fettling and fiddling, the two main vehicles for the scenario are done. I've got my Bedford Truck. Now this will need weathering, obviously. Main gun in the back there with a gunner on it. And the Jeep with the 50 cal redirected gunner on the back of it. Hopefully that looks a bit realistic, I'm not quite sure. Yes, so now I'm going to concentrate on positioning these three guys as well on the diorama base, which I'm going to do next with sand, PVA, make a little road, bit of bush scrub. I'm not going to do any opposing Germans, firing or shooting, because I just don't like doing that sort of thing. There's enough death in the world without me trying to replicate it on a model. So yeah, just have them posed, and then we'll go from there. Right, pot, sand. I know this is going to be out of scale for 172, but as I keep saying in previous videos, I'm not professional. I do this because I like it. Now we'll crush those little bits up, get rid of them. Oh, that's a stone. Give it a good crushing. Try and break it up as best as. This is just normal common garden builder's sand, nothing special. Get all these bits out. Oh, then you get some PVA. My old friend, the PVA glue. I like PVA. Squidge it in there. Quite a bit. That'll do. Give it a good stir. And a bit more sand in there, I think. I don't want to mix too much because you can't put it back once it's mixed. And as I say, I like doing things reasonably cheaply, so I don't have to buy more stuff. So yeah, just mix that in. Make sure it's all thoroughly mixed. So I'm just going to pour it and then spread it with the same stick I used to stir it. Just get it all over the base as best as possible, and that will dry rock hard. So I'm going to get on with doing this, and then I'll show you what it looks like in a couple of minutes. Right, the base is sanded. So I'm going to get a little wheel. I think it's a Spitfire wheel actually, I'm not quite sure. And I'm just going to cut some tracks into it like that. I'm hoping it will sort of do a road type effect. That's it. I'm just going to do many wheel tracks in the same area. I'm hoping it will dry and look feasibly like a desert road. Something like that. Or something. So in my crushed herbs and thing, hopefully it will grab it and glue it down if I just do that. Just for a bit of colour. I'm also going to add some rocks as well, because I remember seeing films. Oh crikey. Oh, I remember seeing films based in the desert, and there was always rocks around, so I'm going to do that. Just to add a bit of interest, otherwise it's going to be really quite a boring scene, otherwise it's just sand. So I just want to get them to stick. I'll hit them with scenery glue as well near the end of the build, just to make sure they stay put. And all's gone on there, and it has on the dial, never mind. Yeah, let's see if I can just get them to stick down. There we go, just get them in there. I'll get some of my gravel chippings if I can find them. That's Lego bricks. Oh, gravel chippings, there we go. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to scatter them in there. Particularly the bigger ones, they'll be brilliant. They'll be like proper boulders. There you go, just for a bit of an effect. I'll drop some on top, and again I'll hit them with scenery glue when it's all dried off like that. I think that's enough. I might do some over here as well. Just to give it a bit of interest, otherwise it's going to look very bland as a yellow base. There we go, it's probably too round, but whatever. There we go. I think that'll do nicely. I'll let that all go off. And then, oh crikey. And then we can do scenery glue and then get the tracks on with the peat. So I'm going to put the Jeep in there. Like that. And I'm going to get the Bedford Truck and put him in there, or it I should say, in there like that. Cool. And the trucks are set. And while I'm at it, let's get the soldiers. Oh. Cut him off there, cut him off there. Again, this is my gangster officer that I quite liked. So I'm going to stick him in there. That's quite a good place for him. My casual driver, who I like the best, he's just sitting there with his arm in the air going, what? Can get him off. And he can have on top of the Jeep like that, looking into the distance going, nothing doing me, mate. There we go. Hopefully the PVA will set on their feet. I shall add a little bit of super glue to the base of each one when they're stuck. But yeah, I'm going to let that set now. Let the PVA do its job and I'll do some weathering. Take the mask off. Light coat of matte varnish just to dull it all down a bit. Left it overnight, everything's dried. All the guys are fixed quite solid. No one seems to be drunk. So, I'm going to do a bit of weathering to bring out some character in the vehicles. So I'm just going to smear on that windscreen there a little bit of sand, because you can't drive through a desert without sand getting on your windscreen. Put some on the bonnet, a bit of discoloration if I can, because let's be honest, in a desert it's not going to be shiny. Do the wheels. Oh crikey, might have to add some Mod Podge to that. It is a bit loose than I thought it would be. That one. Oh, that is, yes, I'm going to have to Mod Podge that, I think. Inside the truck needs a little bit of weathering. I'll use a brush for that, I think. Choose that one. I'm going to get sand in between those grooves. And the truck's in a desert, it's going to have sand in it. Yeah, that needs to be Mod Podge that's come loose. I'll do that in a second. That's much better now, it's got sand on it. And I'm going to sand him a little bit as well. Oh, way too much there. Just make him look a bit deserty. Yep, do the Jeep. Sand because it's in the desert. and there is going to be sand in it, definitely over that. And do the wheels. And last but not least, I want to do some on the stones, bricks, boulders, whatever you want to call them. Just see if I can work some weathering into there. Oh cripes, he's not. Oh, the only thing holding that officer of men down is, well, I mean holding that lorry down is the officer of men. Oops, right, I'll have to find a way of gluing that. I'm sure I can. I want sand everywhere. And then I should do a bit on the road, just to darken that up a little bit. Perhaps that glue isn't as dry as I thought it was. Definitely do these footboards. And that side of the truck. Yep, there's a Jeep stuck down. Oh yes, that's Derry. Just a Bedford truck that's giving me grief. So, put the sand away. I'm going to use some mud green to define the road. Just to give it a better colour where the tyre tracks would be. Yeah, he's definitely needing much podging down in a minute, and I will do that. Oh, cup of tea. Some Mod Podge matte, perfect. Right, they're both off. So where the holes were. Oh! Actually, whilst that's off, let's do a bit more detail for the road. Funny how the Land Rover stuck down, but the Bedford Truck didn't. Bit annoying that actually. I thought they'd both stick in that PVA mix, but never mind. Such is life. And what I'll do, I'll put a light coat of matte varnish in, and that will hold that all in place. And to mist it over. Just to blend that plant work in to the road as well, like that. Not too much, just enough to make it look like it's well travelled by foot traffic as well as motor vehicles. There we go. Got distracted with weather in there. Got to stick this truck down. Right, let's try again. Before I spill that everywhere. Here comes the Mod Podge. One there. One there. One there. One there. And one where the soldier was standing. There. Pick our truck up. And then drop him back in. And he can go in there like that. There we go. Probably way too much Mod Podge, but ho hum. Just spread the glue out a little bit, just so it's not. That's it, just. Loose prick here somewhere. There it is. Use up the excess glue on that. There we go. I think that's suitably weathered as well now. So I'm going to have to let that all go off, and then I will do a final matte varnish, and then the big reveal. So far, so good. So there we go, my attempt at a truck diorama. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. It's not an aircraft, but you know, yeah, not too bad at all, I think, for an amateur. So yeah, pass comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next edition. Cheers.